Hello and welcome to episode 76 of Knobcat Games Dungeons of the Obelisk podcast. I'm your host, Joe Sleppy. I'm Executive Prime at Knobcat Games, and this show is our audio devlog where we get together every 2 weeks. I know we've been slacking, but it's going to be every 2 weeks going forward, I hope. And we talk about our game, Dungeons of the Obelisk, a 2D turn-based dungeon crawling loot grinding adventure. And I'm joined today by our art lord, Ben Segas.
Hello.
And our digital alchemist, TJ Yadicernia.
Hello.
All right, guys. So it's a new year, new podcast. One of my resolutions, I guess. It's not really a resolution. I guess if it is a decision you make at the beginning of the year, it can be a resolution. So
sure.
I really want to get just steady on our podcast again. You know, every 2 weeks. Hit it. There's usually enough to talk about, even if there's not a ton going on. So hopefully we can stick to that. In Dodo news, the Solstice event ended on the 7th after a month of hunting for Solstice snaps and champerados. Hopefully everybody got their rewards off the calendar. And I guess you weren't here, Ben, whenever we talked about adding that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Any thoughts on any of the drawings? We had the cookie, the Solstice Snap, the Champerado, which is the hot chocolate, and then of course the I'm not going to remember the full name, the hourglass, the iridescent hourglass, prismatic hourglass of iridescence. That's what it is.
I mean, obviously, of those three, the hourglass was definitely most interesting to work on, because I was trying to, try to tap into the idea of iridescence and stuff, and thought of crystals and all that fun stuff. So I was just toying around with prisms and stuff. So the idea of the light going through the crystals to make all the various colors that shoot out of it. Yeah, it was just fun to try to render the crystals, because I don't know if you've ever tried drawing a crystal, but they're very difficult. they just the way the light hits from different angles and bounces, and then in some spots goes through. It's very tricky to find a balance and make it look realistic, but still in a stylized way to fit the game, But I think it worked out.
Yeah, it looks nuts. When you sent it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. It turned out perfect. Yeah. And then Nika animated it. And when I first saw that animation, I was just like, that one really blew me away. I don't think the animation was in yet whenever. I can't remember if we talked about it last time or not, but I think I can always just gush over your stuff getting animated by her. Yeah. It's just so good every time. I hope people enjoy the artwork of the game as much as I do.
I hope so too. But yeah, anytime it takes the stuff and animates it, it's because I always have an idea of what I think it'll look like animated, but what ends up being the end result is every single time it's so much better than I imagined. So it always works out.
Well, from my point of view, I come up with these items or mobs or whatever it is, and I don't know if we've ever talked about this before, but I have aphantasia where I can't even picture stuff in my head. If you've never heard of that, look it up. But a lot of people have the opposite, where they say they can hear or see music and they can super vividly picture things and stuff. And then I have the opposite from that, where I don't picture anything in my head. So it's weird once you realize you have that, and how you've been kind of working around it your whole life. So it's interesting whenever I come up with something, because I have an idea of what it is gonna look like, but I don't picture it. Right. And then whenever you draw it, it's just It's just nuts.
Awesome.
I don't know.
See, yeah, I don't have like you were describing synesthesia as the like opposite of it, where but I don't have that, but I definitely have a very visual memory. So like I sometimes can't remember something unless I can visualize it, which is kind of the opposite. I would say is like this idea that like, yeah, like my memory is so visually attached that like there'll be things that like I know I did, but if I can't remember what it visually looked like happening, I sometimes can't remember it at all. Like it just is a blank in my memory. But yeah, so like it's kind of interesting that you go into it with like no real, like, I mean, obviously you have an idea of what it should look like, generally speaking, but to know that you don't have like a pre what's the word, like a pre thought out like idea of what the actual visual would look like, that's really interesting. I don't know, that's cool.
Yeah, and you talking about remembering stuff gave me this this memory from high school where they brought in this dude, I guess, and he was like talking about how to like remember stuff, and his whole thing was like, oh, here's these tricks to remember like long numbers and stuff like that. And he was like, okay, so if you have to remember the number whatever it was, each number had like this thing that he was visualizing. So like 1 was, I don't even remember, 8 was like a spider, and like 3 was like a stool or something, and so it was like this weird stuff where like each image was related to the number. And I was like, this is so ridiculously stupid, because why now I have to remember these images and then remember the association of them with the number, and it like did not work for me.
That does not sound like a good way to do it.
No.
Well, I think if you were like a visual person,
it might work.
And because his deal was like you had to remember like a story to remember this number. I don't know. It was like a whole thing. Like maybe that guy was like some drug addict that wandered into our class or something. But I remember that, and I remember thinking like, this is the dumbest way to do it than just remembering the numbers, because I can remember numbers easier than I can remember like pictures of a spider milking a cow or whatever it was. Yeah, we're pretty far off topic. So speaking of animations, we do have the animations for the Solstice Snap and the Champerado. So we got like cookie crumb physics and stuff that's going to get added in. But you were just talking about that, TJ, where we don't have them in the game quite yet. But
yeah, they're ready to go. It's just on my end to actually fully implement them and pass them off to the public build.
Yeah, the next public build is probably going to be the challenge update, right?
That'll be the next major public build, so I might do one within the next few days just to get those animations in and maybe some other small changes, and then after that just focus on everything about the challenges and make sure the game's in a state where it can go on for however long it takes to like finalize all the challenge changes.
Yeah, I'm hoping those go fairly quick, but you know, it's been a little while now. I can't remember when we started on those. Was it like the beginning of December, or was it earlier than that?
For the challenge changes, it was earlier than that. I know for one reason or another it was delayed, especially because of like holiday events. Making sure that, like, we always want to make sure that the challenge build's put into the game in a state where it doesn't break everybody's stuff. So it needs higher testing than usual.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I remember we had the Solstice event. I don't remember if the October event interrupted it or not, but yeah, and then we also had kind of a pause on working on the challenge update to actually force in a wardrobe fix, because the wardrobe's been bugged out for far too long, and people were losing, you know, stuff that, like, we can always get it back for them. So if you're listening to this and you lost something in the wardrobe that you did have, we can get it back for you. Just get at me on Discord, or even the bug notification in game can work too. if you don't have Discord. But yeah, you kind of forced through a wardrobe fix whenever the Solstice event ended.
Yeah, so that was a major focus before the event finalized, was making sure that changed, found its way in. And from what I was looking at, it seems like the skins and such weren't being lost. They were just being moved to different locations and then therefore became inaccessible. Like if, for example, I was looking for, like what skins do you have on your head? Well, if your head skins are located on the slot for your legs, it doesn't know where to put them anymore. You can't. You can't equip it in random directions like that. So since they were oddly getting stored in different locations, and some of them were storing things it shouldn't. Like when I was looking at mine, it said that like one of my wardrobe items was a Barsoom. I was looking at it, it's like I have a wardrobe unlocked for the Barsoom. So alright, great. I can't actually equip that. So I think there was a bit of like data overloading happening because of it, where if you had either duplicates or you had items that shouldn't exist in the first place, the list of stuff gets bigger and bigger, and it keeps multiplying itself. Get too big and it just erases itself.
So will the update... You'd think I would have looked at this when we updated, but does the update then force back the stuff that you lost then?
It'll actively scan through the entire list of like everything you have. So even if it's looking at your legs and you have a helmet inside of your legs save area, it'll say this is a helmet, put it in the helmet spot. But then if in that process it finds that helmet and says you already have it, it won't add it into the list causing two of them. It'll instead say you already have it, don't put it there. So it highly refines it down to where no matter what, if you have the item saved somewhere, it'll find it, put it where it needs to go. There's no longer any duplicates, there's no longer consumables in there when there shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. So everything about it should be fixed. The only issue and concern I have is if there was any skins that a player did unlock that now may be missing for one reason or another. Which luckily it's a very quick fix. It's just a matter of figuring out like, was anything lost, if there was any issues at all.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can always fix them just by giving them like a code for that item or something, and then I don't know. Is it easy can you go in and like add it for people, or is it easier just to give them like a code and let them have another new item?
I'd say giving items are faster because then they get it in the mail, they pick it up, it unlocks right then and there.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that's fixed. If anybody's having any issues with it, definitely let us know. Hopefully, will it take away items that they got but shouldn't have had? Because I've noticed a lot of people were getting the bug hunter stuff from the beta that they weren't supposed to have.
That's one thing that's I'm unable to set up like a code for, because if it was an item that you have in your wardrobe but you never owned and you shouldn't have it in your wardrobe, the only way for that to be fixed is if we identify it and say, hey, that's not supposed to be there, and we take it away personally.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm fine with that. Like if people have stuff they shouldn't, that's better than them losing stuff that they did have. I was just curious. So did the Solstice event actually end the double moonsoom?
Yes, this time it actually did end. I don't know how long we had that running for, but I do know we had that running significantly longer than we intended to.
It definitely was running since the March 1 year anniversary event. That's when we added it and then didn't take it away. So it's been several months.
Oh, that is a while. Yeah, it is officially gone. All the values are back to their defaults, as they should be. It's one of those things where you might not notice, outside of the fact that the days where you had like a movement speed booster, you'll suddenly notice like I'm not flying across the map anymore.
Yeah, it definitely made it easier to farm experience and gold and stuff too, if you paid attention to the day. I just logged in to make sure the X2 was gone off the moonsoom. Here's Ben. Ben's in game. I'm gonna add you as a friend. I'm trying to think if we have anything else new to talk about. Did we ever talk about adding Rad into the game?
I'm not sure. Maybe not.
The new cat companion. I guess he's mostly just a cosmetic. He does give you a little buff whenever you add him in. I guess we had that issue where you could where someone bought him and didn't get him, but all of the issues with the store should be fixed as well too.
I know there was some issue with the store where it's like the purchase was capable of going through, and then after the purchase the item wouldn't go through. So the trackers all know that it's like, hey, this player has this item, but the in-player inventory and wardrobe would show that there was absolutely nothing in there.
That's definitely not good.
But that's solved now, nice and fixed.
Trying to think if there's anything else major that we need to talk about this episode.
And largely just the wardrobe stuff and the event. I did not collect my calendar rewards, by the way.
Oh, uh-oh.
That was Starcore for me.
Somehow I feel like you don't need it.
There's a chance.
I'm not even friends with you on this account. I can't even look at your super overpowered character anymore.
The casually modified character.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's episode. I think I'll wrap it up. We could talk about some of the stuff that you drew for challenges next episode when we're closer to having those in the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, unless you guys got anything else, I'll wrap it up.
I'm good.
It'll be good.
Right on. In that case, thank you for listening to this episode and getting to the end of it. If you've made it this far and you're not in our Discord, you can head to knobcat.com, find the link to the Discord. We also have dungeonsoftheobelisk.wiki. That is our wiki that I update with all the current information, hopefully. And that has the link to the Discord as well, dungeonsoftheobelisk.wiki. We have our social media, Instagram and TikTok, which are both at Dungeons Obelisk. And if you're listening to this and you haven't left a Steam review, that's one of the greatest ways to help our game be shown to other people in Steam and help us grow. I also have the YouTube channel. If you search Dungeons of the Obelisk on YouTube, I'm probably the only thing that comes up. And I've got lots of Twitch streams and things that I've added on there, and I've been trying to work on some new videos talking about some of the builds and some of the items in games and different things. So you can check that all out. And I think that's everything. We will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Later.